Meghan's mother, the woman everyone trusted, had secrets buried deep in plain sight. It sounds like the start of a thriller, yet it's real. Doria Ragland, the seemingly calm and grounded presence behind Meghan Markle, was living a double life. While the world admired her as a poised mother, confidant, and guardian figure, beneath that composed exterior was a world of hidden ambition, financial maneuvering, and carefully orchestrated deception. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. The calm before the storm. Doria's public image is a picture of serenity. Whether attending royal events or quietly supporting her daughter in Los Angeles, she was known for her elegance and discretion. Friends describe her as polite, thoughtful, and devoted, qualities that make her unexpected role in this scandal all the more shocking. But sometimes, the calmest waters hide the deepest currents. Those who worked with Doria in her business ventures recall a side of her the public rarely saw: strategic, meticulous, and sometimes ruthlessly practical. She had a mind for numbers, a knack for organizing operations, and the patience to build something substantial behind the scenes. Her latest venture, a company offering eldercare services, was just the tip of the iceberg. On the surface, it seemed simple. Caring for the elderly is noble work. But when investigators began examining the books, the company's seemingly altruistic exterior cracked, revealing a network of financial activity no one could have anticipated. The rise of the Doria Eldercare Company. The company started modestly. It offered home visits, care plans, and consultations. Families in Los Angeles spoke glowingly of Doria's professionalism. And that professionalism, combined with her low-key reputation, made her a trusted figure in the community. But Doria didn't stop there. As the company expanded, so did its network of subsidiaries, shell accounts, and hidden partners. On paper, these moves were legal: contracts, invoices, tax filings. But in reality, they were a maze of financial pathways designed to obscure the flow of money. Imagine a spider weaving a web so intricate that even the spider barely remembers all the strands. That's how Doria's operation looked to an outside observer: neat, organized, and legitimate. But under the surface, millions were moving through channels no one outside the inner circle could see. The perfect cover. Why eldercare? Why not a tech startup, a boutique agency, or a real estate venture? Eldercare has a built-in shield: vulnerability. Families trust care providers, and the public tends to assume benevolence. Doria's choice of industry was brilliant. Not just from a business perspective, but from a strategic one. It allowed her to operate without scrutiny while maintaining a flawless reputation. Think about it. Who questions the finances of a company caring for seniors? Invoices look like normal services. Payments appear routine. And yet, the smallest tweak in accounting, an extra zero here, a fabricated client there, can turn a simple business into a cash flow machine. This was Doria's genius. She had created an empire under the radar, leveraging her connections, her discretion, and her meticulous attention to detail. And when Meghan's name entered the picture, the stakes skyrocketed. A web of influence. The hidden family empire wasn't just about money. It was about influence. Doria's company had ties, both visible and invisible, to key players in finance, law, and social circles connected to the royals. She knew how to leverage these connections, positioning herself and her family in ways that would appear harmless while subtly consolidating power. Here's an example. A series of charitable donations, presented as altruism, were actually used to move money between accounts without raising suspicion. Offshore accounts were established in jurisdictions with minimal oversight, and contracts were signed with intermediaries whose identities were opaque, ensuring that only Doria, and by extension, Meghan, could control the flow. Imagine watching a chess game where the pieces move themselves, anticipating every possible response. That's the level of planning involved in Doria's operations. And yet, to the public, it all looked ordinary. The first hints of trouble. Every empire has cracks, no matter how carefully constructed. For Doria, those cracks appeared subtly at first: a delayed payment here, a suspicious email there. But in hindsight, they were the first signs of a scandal that would explode across headlines. According to sources, investigators first became interested when irregularities in the company's accounts triggered automated alerts. Certain transfers didn't align with reported revenue. Large sums moved between accounts in ways that weren't justified by client activity. And in some cases, money appeared to flow toward individuals whose connection to the company was tenuous at best. The initial reaction was disbelief. How could someone with Doria's reputation be involved in something potentially illegal? But as more evidence emerged, the picture grew increasingly complex and increasingly damning. The royal connection emerges. Then came the most shocking discovery. The money trail led directly to Meghan Markle, and by extension, the royal family. It wasn't immediately clear if Meghan was fully aware of the schemes or if her name was being used to facilitate transfers. But the connection existed, and investigators knew it. Every bank statement, every coded transaction, hinted at a network that stretched from Doria's office to accounts that only someone with inside access could reach. This revelation didn't just complicate the investigation. It turned it into a potential royal scandal. Questions swirled. How much did King Charles know? Were royal finances being exploited? And most importantly, was Meghan complicit, or was she simply caught in her mother's orbit? The emotional stakes. Behind the numbers and bank statements, there's a human story, a family torn apart by secrets, trust violated, and loyalties tested. Imagine the moment Doria realized she could no longer keep the truth hidden. The fear of legal consequences mixed with guilt. The thought of her daughter being implicated in something so serious must have been unbearable. For Meghan, the stakes are even higher. Public image, media scrutiny, and familial ties all collide in ways that few could navigate without consequence. Every revelation threatens to undo the careful image she's built, and every secret uncovered risks turning public admiration into outrage. Foreshadowing the confession. Investigators often speak of a tipping point, the moment when evidence becomes undeniable and silence is no longer an option. For Doria, that tipping point came when the police began asking questions about specific transfers, accounts, and clients. She had a choice: deny everything, potentially face harsher consequences, or step forward and confess. What she did next changed everything. Her confession didn't just reveal financial irregularities. It exposed a hidden family empire, meticulously crafted but vulnerable to discovery. And most importantly, it implicated Meghan in ways that would ignite media frenzy and royal scandal. Just when you think the story has reached a calm point, the real twist emerges. Doria's confession hinted at something even bigger than financial misdeeds. Something that could shock the palace, the public, and even Meghan herself. But what Doria revealed next, the secret that tied Meghan, the eldercare company, and the royal family together, was something no one saw coming. And it would set the stage for a scandal unlike anything the monarchy has faced in decades. Introduced Doria's double life and hidden empire. Explained the eldercare company as a cover for financial schemes. Foreshadowed Meghan's involvement. Highlighted emotional stakes and family betrayal. What does King Charles have to do with a small eldercare company in Los Angeles? More than anyone imagined. At first glance, the idea seems absurd. How could a modest business, run by Meghan Markle's mother, possibly intersect with the finances of a reigning monarch? But as investigators dug deeper, the connections became undeniable. And the implications? Nothing short of explosive. The subtle threads linking royals to business. The royal family is no stranger to scrutiny, but usually it's about image, protocol, or public engagements. Few people expect the intricate web of money, legal trusts, and personal favors that surround them. And that's exactly how Doria's eldercare company slipped under the radar. It wasn't a matter of direct theft at first glance. The transfers were subtle, disguised as charitable donations, service fees, or consultancy payments. But when viewed as part of the bigger picture, a pattern emerged. Money moving from accounts tied to the king or associated entities into channels connected to Doria. Here's an analogy. Imagine the royal finances as a giant, ornate mansion. From the outside, it gleams. Majestic, untouchable. But behind the walls, secret passageways allow certain individuals to move unseen, carrying valuables that only a few understand. Doria had found one of those passageways. The first real red flags came from internal audits. Certain transfers didn't match reported expenditures. Payments appeared for consulting or support services that no one could account for. Investigators found coded references in emails and spreadsheets. Words like legacy planning or family initiatives were actually shorthand for specific transactions routed through Doria's accounts. The trail was complicated, but not invisible. And once one investigator followed it, the dominoes began to fall. The magnitude of these transfers surprised even seasoned financial detectives. They weren't just minor errors. They involved sums that, if fully accounted for, could total millions. The role of Meghan Markle. Meghan's name appeared repeatedly in documents and account records. Was she knowingly involved? Or was her name used to legitimize certain transactions? Some insiders suggest Meghan's role was limited, her involvement more administrative than criminal. Others argue she had full awareness, potentially guiding the flow of funds. The truth remains murky, but the implications for the monarchy are severe regardless. Even indirect involvement creates a scandal. For a royal family that meticulously guards its public image, the mere suggestion of financial impropriety tied to a family member is explosive. King Charles's awareness, or lack thereof. Did King Charles know about these transactions? Officially, no. But investigations suggest at least one advisor may have flagged suspicious activity in the past. That report appears to have been buried in routine paperwork, overlooked amidst the day-to-day operations of the palace. This raises questions. Could the king have prevented this scandal? If he had intervened, would Doria have moved to hide the evidence more cleverly? Or was this already a carefully orchestrated plan to shield the monarchy from public awareness while allowing money to move discreetly? The answers remain uncertain, but every new piece of evidence makes it harder to believe this was purely accidental. How the palace reacted. When rumors of the eldercare company's irregularities reached Buckingham Palace, the reaction was swift and tense. Meetings were held behind closed doors. Advisors debated strategy. Should they confront Doria? Should Meghan be involved in damage control? How much should the public be told? There was also concern about optics. The palace exists not just as a family, but as a symbol of stability. Any hint of scandal can ripple far beyond the immediate actors. One misstep could ignite media frenzy, erode public trust, and create lasting damage to the monarchy's credibility. Even the prospect of Doria being investigated by police forced careful choreography. It was a delicate dance. Manage exposure, protect the family, and contain a story that was growing faster than anyone could control. Emotional stakes for the royals. Consider the human side. King Charles discovers that millions of pounds may have been diverted in ways he never authorized. Beyond the financial implications, there's a personal betrayal. This is family, someone close to Meghan, someone he trusted indirectly, now tied to possible misconduct. For Meghan, the pressure is immense. Royal protocols, public scrutiny, media speculation, all converge in a storm. Every press headline threatens to tear apart the careful persona she's built since marrying into the monarchy. Every whisper about Doria's confession puts her directly in the spotlight. And for Doria? The weight of the confession is crushing. She is forced to reconcile loyalty to her daughter with responsibility for her actions. It's a moral and legal tightrope, one misstep from disaster. Media reactions begin. While the palace strategized in silence, the media were already circling. Rumors of eldercare fraud tied to the monarchy, whispered in financial circles, began to leak. Headlines speculated on Meghan's involvement. Public fascination surged. After all, who wouldn't be captivated by a story combining royalty, family betrayal, and hidden millions? Social media exploded with theories. Influencers dissected leaked documents. Memes juxtaposed Meghan's glamorous lifestyle with Doria's alleged financial maneuvering. The story wasn't just news, it was spectacle. This only raised the stakes for the palace, controlling narrative versus letting the scandal spiral out of control. And controlling a narrative with millions of eyes watching is never easy. Foreshadowing the confession. All of this builds toward one inevitable event, Doria's police confession. Investigators had assembled enough evidence to demand answers. The connections to royal accounts, the complex financial maneuvers, and the indirect involvement of Meghan created pressure that could no longer be ignored. Doria had a choice: continue hiding behind carefully crafted explanations, or come forward and tell the truth. And when she finally chose the latter, she didn't just reveal financial irregularities. She revealed a hidden empire, meticulously designed and dangerously close to collapsing. The confession would shake the family, scandalize the media, and leave the public questioning everything. But even more shocking revelations were still waiting in the shadows.